Welcome to Two of a Kind Sports, the show with passion that meets the game. I'm your co-host D Nice,
And I'm your co host, Denise.
and today we're going to dive into the Week 6 of the Washington Commanders versus the Chicago Bears with a full recap. You don't want to miss this. But before we dive in, please do us a favor: like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and smash that bell icon and select all so that you don't miss when we go live and drop a brand new video. As a matter of fact, Denise, we have a brand new video of the light show that we had with the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears Monday night. Let's take a look. It was here at Northwest Stadium.
Hey, let's show 'em how we do it, y'all. Hey, look, everybody joints lighting up. Look.
That was a clip of the blackout that we had that people, the fans at Washington at Northwest Stadium showed up and showed out. I was part of that. I wish you could have been there with me. It was a very historic event. Now we came out even with the rain. It pretty much held off for us until mostly the fourth quarter when it started doing its thing. But guess what, Washington fans, thank you for showing up and showing out for our team. Even though we didn't come away with this victory, it's on to Dallas week this week. But until then, here's our recap of week one. I'm sorry, of quarter one of the Chicago Bears. So, Denise, let me ask you this question. What were your intakes of what you liked during the first quarter, second quarter? What were your do's and your don'ts?
Well, since it was a blackout, I'm putting on this black mask. Okay. Because it was quite interesting. This was a game for the Commanders about turnovers.
Yes.
Turnovers determined the outcome of
Yes.
this game. Now, I'm going to start off with a point that I've been making for years, and a lot of you viewers won't know this unless you've known me for years, but it's always been my position that when we win the
Mhm.
coin toss, we don't defer. We put our offense on the field first to give us the best opportunity to score first and make our opposition trail us. We didn't do that. The Commanders won the coin toss and
Mhm.
chose to defer. So our defense started off.
Yes.
And so we allowed Chicago to get their offense on the field first.
Mhm.
And here's what they did. Caleb Williams, the quarterback for Chicago,
Number 15.
interestingly enough, went to high school at Gonzaga in Washington, D.C.
Yep, this was a
So,
home for him. Yep, it
yes,
sure
this was
was.
a homecoming of sorts for him. So there's that. So he had something to prove here coming back to DC, and he gave it what he got. He gave it what he had,
Gave it what he
and
had.
he was effective in using Swift DeAndre Swift, their running back, to get down the field. Okay, so their running game was good.
Yeah, he's, I feel like with DeAndre Swift, we always say like Santana Moss is the cowboy killer. I think he the commander killer because last year and this year, he swift us up. He Army swift us. We could not stop him. He was pretty much a one-man wrecking show. He was killing us as far as with the run game, and Caleb Williams was finding him in the passing game as well.
Exactly. And so here in the first quarter, with us allowing Chicago to be on the field first,
Yes.
they were not able to get the grand prize, which is a touchdown.
Right.
But they were able to get the consolation prize, which is a field goal, because their kicker, Jake Moody, kicked a 47-yard field goal to put the Chicago Bears on the scoreboard first with 3 points, which left us trailing when Jaden Daniels and our Commanders took to the field.
Right. Yes, that is correct. Now,
so on our first drive, oh boy, we had a false start from Tunsil, number 28. Number 78, Tunsil. He got a false start. So, here again with the penalties, the mindless penalties, we need to get our guys to better focus. Like Jaden said in his presser after the game, he acknowledged that he wasn't really focused as well as he should have been. And he's not the only one on our team who didn't focus very well. Chicago did help us out because our former player, Montez Sweat, who now plays for the Chicago Bears, did get a 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer.
Yes.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Montez Sweat.
Yeah. He
came back and was messing up.
Yeah, he was talking trash throughout the whole week. I knew he took this game very personal. He was saying on Twitter, on X, that how he was offended that he was traded by the Commanders. But at the end of the day, dude, it's business. At the end of the day, thank you. It gave you, it made you more richer, and then it helped us in the interim. So, it was no hard feelings, Montez. We liked you when you were here. But at the end of the day, you wasn't producing, giving us the sacks. You were giving us quarterback rushes, but we need sacks. So I'm sorry, but thank you, but no thank you. So I know he really wanted this game for himself.
Well, I don't blame him. When you dedicate yourself to your career, you feel like you dedicated yourself to the team, and they make, the business decision to trade you. People feel like, you shouldn't have any feelings about that. But then if he had been doing well for us and he got a better offer and he left us, then people would accuse him of being, disloyal to the team.
And he's human. So
they're two sides of that coin, but we will take the roughing the passer penalty. We accepted that, so that's good. But here on our opening drive, near the end, Daniels tried to connect with Deebo Samuel, and he threw an interception. Brisker is what his name is. He picked him off.
Yeah.
Brisker from the Chicago Bears picked Jaden's throw to Deebo Samuel's off. So there was the interception, and that was our opportunity to get into the end zone. And instead, we got the opposite result of being picked off. So that lost us our possession.
Yes, because that was a good drive.
Put Chicago back on the field because they already took advantage of their opportunity to get on the scoreboard. So they had 3 points from Moody kicking the field goal.
Right.
So on the Chicago's gifted possession because of our turnover, Caleb Williams, he rallied his guys. They got down the field and they got into field goal position. They didn't get a touchdown, thank goodness, but they did get into field goal position because from that interception, their kicker, Chicago's kicker, Jake Moody, was able to kick a 48-yard field goal. So that put Chicago up 6 to Washington 0.
Yes. What I did also see with those drives, even when we were on defense, once again, Denise, the snake has bitten us another week. No pass rush, no type of anything. I mean, when we could get home on the blitz, it was not consistent. And we've been saying that for the last couple of weeks. What do we want to see from this team? Consistency. And we have not done that on both sides of the ball. I think my personal opinion is that Jayden has always been like Superman force, right? So that the team say, okay, let's keep it close. Jayden will win this game for us. But let me ask you this question, Denise. When will it be that the defense can carry us one game? Maybe Jayden is off or not having a good game. There was no way that this game should have just came down to a Jayden fumble. We did have some missed opportunities here, but at times, once again, the defense could not and did not get them off the field when they should, like on any third down conversions. It was like every time Chicago was always converting the ball. And I'm sorry, good teams don't win like that. You have to be able to get them off the field and be able to, stop what they're doing, stop the bleeding. I mean, we wasn't getting no pass rush. And that's something that's been really, really bad for us in the last couple of weeks, Denise.
Yeah, our defense did not play aggressively.
Yeah.
They didn't. And we know they have the capability because, again, in this game, there were, some glimmers and we had a few glances at some good plays individually, but as a unit, showing consistency, it wasn't there.
Right.
Jayden had more pressure on him than Caleb Williams had pressure.
Oh,
and so that didn't look good for us at all. And so we're in the first quarter.
Yes.
And Chicago has already kicked 2 field goals. And for this first quarter, we were shut down. We were shut out. And Denise, had to shut up because there was really nothing for me to praise our team for in this first quarter. So again, it gets back to what you said, D-Nice, about us being plagued with slow starts. Okay, this is not the first time. This is not the second time this season. Our team has gotten off to slow starts. And because of that, it makes it even more imperative that we make good decisions off the top. If you win the coin toss, you've had problems with slow starts. Put your offense on the field first and give yourself the best opportunity to get on the scoreboard first. You set the tone of the game. You make your opponent trail. You put them in a position where they have to play catch up.
Right.
We are not the catch up team. We're not the come from behind team.
Well,
we need to set the tone at the beginning, and the aggression would come from us doing well on offense, getting points on that scoreboard. See, a lot of people think that the aggression would come from defense. The defense, shutting them down and killing their first drive, killing the opponent's first drive and not allowing them to score. But even if we don't allow them to score on their first drive, guess what? We're tied 0-0. That doesn't put us ahead.
Right.
That ties us 0-0. So again, good decision making is key here. We have to deal with or resolve our problem with slow starts. And one way to address that is when you win the coin toss, put your offense on the field first. Don't defer.
Well, I don't think it really mattered this game because, Denise, you're right. In theory, we have been starting off slow. But this game, we were driving. Jayden Daniels, Jedi 5, threw that interception, which would have kind of tied the game up. So I didn't think this game we started off slow like the Chargers game, or I'm not going to even say the Raiders game. The Chargers game and definitely the Falcons game. But The thing that
Those are
really,
better teams, though, man. Come on, come
I mean,
on.
yeah, they're better
Those are
teams.
better teams. So a lesser team is not going to do what a better team. With a lesser team, you have more opportunities to exploit their weaknesses.
Well, but this is where I disagree with you at, because the Chargers were a good team with a great defense. We scored 27 unanswered points. So to go back to what you were saying, that we're not a comeback team, I kind of beg to differ on that. We showed last week that we can come back, but that's not something, as I told you before, we want to continue to keep doing.
That's
because-
not our record, though. I didn't
Right.
say we couldn't come back. I said we're
Right.
not a comeback team. A comeback team is a team that can usually start off slow, usually trail, usually be behind, and
Mhm.
usually comes back. You have to come back more than you don't in order to be a comeback team. A comeback team is not a team that comes back sometimes,
Right.
or a team that can come back one time. No, that's not what being a comeback team is. So let's stick to the definition of what a comeback team is. We're not a comeback team. We are a team that can come back. And fortunately, we can come back, which in most cases we have to come back because we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
I
So
agree.
now I'm going to be like you were to me a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
I'm taking you to task on that. We
Yeah.
try to give our guys credit, you know,
Yeah.
but like I said before, you know, they started off wrong on the wrong note with me because even though you don't think it would have made a difference, we don't know. But what we do know
Mhm.
is that if we put our offense on the field first, we can get one of two outcomes.
Mhm.
Either we get the lead or we tie at 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which one is better, for us to have the lead or for us to simply tie at 0? We have to give ourselves a chance. It's
Okay.
all about giving ourselves a chance to capitalize on every opportunity. If you don't give yourself that chance, if you don't put
Mhm.
yourself in that position, you cannot capitalize on opportunities that don't exist.
Right.
So, you know, putting your offense on the field first creates an opportunity. And I'm just saying we needed all the help we could get. And since it was the blackout night, and I love the black uniforms too, but our record of performance while wearing the black is not good.
No.
We lose
No.
more when we wear black. And I looked it up. I couldn't
Yeah,
find any
but that's
stats.
under the old regime. Under DQ, we were undefeated with the black jerseys. So with Ron Rivera, yes, but not with DQ.
But that's
DQ,
historically okay. So
Yeah.
so what did we do this time?
we lost. That's what we did. We threw the game.
But I'm not blaming the black unis, just like we're not
No,
going to
I'm
do
not.
like Milli
This-
Vanilli and blame it on the rain. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
not going to do that. But we do historically, since the inception of the black uniform, we have lost more games than we
Yeah,
won. But
then
with Dan Quinn, let's change
I don't want
that.
to put that narrative out there, because that's when people will start regurgitating that crap, saying, "Oh, it's the uniforms." The uniforms.
It's not the uniforms. That's why I said it's not the uniforms. But we do have stats. We do have a history,
We
but
have-
it's not the uniform.
we
Just
have-
like it's
we-
not the rain. It wasn't
We
the
have
rain.
stats. We have stats too, Denise. When we were wearing white back in the day, we were losing. When we were back burgundy, so to me,
Well, we
your
were just
uniform-
losing, period. I mean, that's
Right.
team performance. That's team performance.
So
But as
we're gonna
long as
talk
they
about-
continue, go ahead. I'm
Well,
sorry.
when we're going to talk about the black uniforms now, let's speak of the DQ and AP era. Let's not go back in the past, because we can't change that. Right now,
Okay,
with the
I will grant you that. But listen, in the interest of fairness,
Mhm.
as long as people want to talk about it's a blackout and we're wearing the black and we're coming and then they want to highly emphasize the black instead
Yes.
of simply making it the novelty that it is. Because
Mhm.
look, when you claim that it's going to be a blackout on Monday Night Football on ESPN/ABC, and you're
Yes.
going up against the Bears
Mhm.
and you get beat at home,
Yeah, That's how it
Talk
worked
to
out.
me. Talk to me. Okay.
We shouldn't have. That game was in the pickings for us to win that game. I'm sorry. That game really made me so sick and upset to my stomach because it was ours. And once again, Denise, as we've done the last couple of weeks, we do a lot of self-inflicting wounds to ourselves. Turnovers. You cannot, I don't care how good your offense is, if you're -3 in takeaways, okay, that's you're not going to win. Well, not speaking of that, that's on the defensive side. You're not going to win ball games like that. We're not getting any pressures. We're turning the ball over, and we're killing ourselves with these stupid penalties. Every time that we're driving and we have a good play, it's always getting negated. Look when Luke McCaffrey had that 40-yard kickoff return. What happened? It got negated.
Penalty.
You know, yeah, penalties. Penalties are killing us. Good teams do not make penalties consistently like that. And I think now I don't understand. Like we said, I don't know if it's a mental lapse or we have some guys that just don't have a high IQ. But why are we making some of these mental mistakes? Whether it's jumping off sides, I understand that, but this is what you get paid for. This is what you do. So I need DQ. I need the coaching staff to be able to. I'm definitely Joe Witt, to get these guys and say, hey, we got to get this together. We cannot be making these are fundamental things. We practice all that, even with the tackle. We're still arm tackling. I was almost ready to jump out on that field. Like, why are we continue to trying to make the big hits? The game is tackle and get them down on the ground. Stop trying to make the big hits. And that's something that I don't understand why in week 6 we're still having this problem, Denise. I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure they've been doing this stuff since OTAs, since a mandatory camp. Why are we having these still fundamental issues? I don't understand. I mean, and this is a well-coached team, but we keep making mental mistakes, and it's frustrating.
Well, I think that our coaching staff needs to find a way to decentivize these penalties. Like personally, it could be against the rules. I'm not exactly sure, but personally, if I was on the coaching staff of this team, when I see mindless, senseless penalties become a habit, I would decentivize it on the quiet side by finding these guys. Like I would have to punish them in some way that would make them know that it's not going to be tolerated. They have to improve, and they have to be made to feel like you have to improve or else. Because I mean, if you ask the guys, of course they want to play well and make great plays, and they don't want penalties. So if you ask them, they would say, of course, I want to do better. Of course, I want to play better. But sometimes the coaching staff needs to get creative, innovative, shall we say, and they have to find ways to motivate in order to change behaviors and take corrective action to get the desired outcome out of the players. Because we shouldn't keep seeing, senseless penalties. I mean, penalties will happen. They are part of the game. So we're not expecting perfection in play, but we are expecting professionalism and proper focus. Yes. And Jayden Daniels admitted in his presser after the game that his focus wasn't at the level that it should be. And as I said before, he's not alone on this roster in that regard. So we're in the second quarter now. And Caleb Williams decided to run it in himself because, his team, they moved down the field.
No pressure. No pressure.
With relative ease. They got down the field. They got to where they needed to be. And Caleb Williams, quarterback of the Chicago Bears, ran it in for a touchdown. Right. So first time a touchdown was scored, it was scored by our opponent's quarterback. So now we are at Chicago 13, Washington 0. So again, I'm thinking, okay, we've been shut out, we've been shut down.
Mhm.
I'm shut up, but I'm thinking there's still a lot of game to be played. So we're in the second quarter.
Oh,
So
yes.
here Washington has their drive,
Yes.
and I will just get to the bottom line of it all. Daniels connected with Chris Moore
Yep.
in the end zone for a touchdown. So we are now on the board with our 7 points. So now it is Washington 7, Chicago 13.
And I thought it was a ball game then. I was like, okay,
We're
we
still up.
with one scorer, we're real close. It's a game. The game is in the making for us. But of course, your number one guy in this corner, who was that, Denise?
Look,
Who was the guy that you talk to every week and that you always put threats out to him? I think you need to send another one to him because that could change the whole trajectory of this game.
yeah, but let me before we get to that, because everybody knows I'm going to jump all down Matt Gay's throat. But
Yeah.
before we get to that, because I did say that I want to give guys credit for when they make good plays. So before that, during the Chicago drive, Luvu did tip the ball and broke up a play that could have resulted in a Chicago touchdown, but he broke up the play. He ended their drive and forced them to punt. So thank you, Frankie Luvu, for that. So Chicago wasn't able.
Was that the play where he almost knocked the snot out of, where he did knock the snot out of Caleb Williams on the sideline? Was that the play?
He tipped the ball and broke up the play. I don't remember.
Yeah, because
But if he did, I thank you, Luvu, for that too. Luvu, thank you for that. Lou.
yes.
You know, but he did break up a play, so he did stop the Chicago Bears from getting on that scoreboard yet again.
Yes.
Now we can go on over to the unsteady foot
Yeah.
of one Mr. Matt. Now, I said from the beginning, he was not solid. He was not dependable. He was not reliable. I called for Matt Gay's playbook early on in the season. I did that.
Yes,
You wanted to bring in competition. You wanted to give him a chance. And I said, okay, because Dan Quinn straight up said, we believe in him. We're going with him. There is no issue there. He's great in practice, and we know what he can do, and he's our guy, period. Issue dead, okay? So even though I called for Matt Gay's playbook for him to leave this team and make his nice exit, they chose to continue to go with him. And I said, once I called for his playbook, he's going to start kicking straight, because when kickers feel like they're going to lose their job, a lot of them start kicking straight.
Yes.
So he was at 100% accuracy after I called for him to be fired. He didn't miss.
Right.
Let's see, here in this game, at home, Northwest Stadium against the Chicago Bears, black uniforms, blackout night, Monday Night Football. What does Matt Gay do?
Miss it.
He missed a 50-yard field goal.
He can't make anything from 50 in. Yeah,
Well, but yes, he can. Oh,
Well,
hey,
no,
look, if
he
you let them tell
he
it,
has, yes, but
if you let them tell it, if you let the burgundy and gold tell it, he kicked 60 in practice like nobody's business. Practice. What did Allen Iverson say? What did Allen Iverson say?
practice.
We're talking about practice.
Who was there? Casper the Friendly Ghost? Who was there to even to try to block it? Nobody. Of course, you can do that too. Well, it's different when you got somebody in your face, breathing down your neck. You know what I mean? Trying to take your head off. You know, and as I always say, pressure busts pipes.
Yes.
Matt Gay. And the sad thing of it, Denise, we're at a point of the season now. It's really, you don't really have anybody on the street that can come in and beat him in competition. When we had a better pickings early in the season, I felt that DQ, AP should have brought in competition from the beginning. And I hope that once this season does conclude, that we never ever go into training camp again with one kicker unless we know we have Adam Vinatieri or I'm gonna say this now, a Greg McManus that kicks for the Green Bay Packers, who we did have, but that's all under the water. We can't do nothing about it, but we need to solidify that position because what are the games won on, Denise? 3 phases: special teams, offense,
Offense and
and
defense.
defense. And if we don't have a good, sustainable kicker, I mean, we haven't really had one. I'm not going to even say Dustin Hopkins, Chip Miller, Mark Mosley. Those were pretty much your consistent kickers that we had throughout the years. Just like safety, we've been hurting trying to find that good replacement. So AP, DQ, please next year bring in kicker competition. Do not let this, because I'm tired. I'm just tired of every week that we go to kick a field goal, I'm biting my nails. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna make it or we're gonna miss it.
Well, the team feels very confident
Mhm.
in Mr. Matt Gay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's their guy.
Now, had they brought in competition,
Mhm.
that person who's good enough to compete might be good enough to replace.
I agree.
So that was, that would have given you options, which is what, I like. I like the team to make decisions that
Mhm.
give us the best opportunity to win. And
Yeah.
what gives you the best opportunity to win is having options.
Yes.
So, Mr.
Always good to have options.
Yes, and with one kicker, we don't have options. So this was the team's choice, and this is what we're dealing with, and we're living off of the foot of
Mhm.
one Mr. Matt Gay. I'm not
Mhm.
pleased with that. So we can go on when the Chicago Bears got their next drive, they had to punt.
Yeah.
So that was good because they didn't put
First
any
time.
more points on the board. So here we are at halftime.
Yes.
Washington 7,
Mhm.
Chicago 13. So we're still in the hunt. We're still, within reach.
Still there for us to get. Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
fortunately, it wasn't a shutout in the first half. It wasn't a shutout in the first half. That was just the first quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
just the first
Mhm.
quarter. But now we've gotten on the board. We're at 7. Chicago is at 13. So our defense did enough to not let Chicago continue to build on their lead when they had opportunities, because
Yes.
our defense did break up plays. They did make some key stops. So that's why we are at 7-13 at the halftime. Now, third quarter.
Mm-hmm. Speak it, because you already.
You want to shut. Matt Gay is determined to shut me up. I'm telling you. I'm
Mhm.
telling you, because of the unsteadiness of it all, the lack of consistency. Because he missed a 50-yard field goal,
Mhm.
but he came back in the third quarter to kick a 52-yard field goal. So he
heard you.
fixed
I
the
think he heard your
longer
voice.
ones.
He heard your voice. He heard it. He's like, I'm not going to miss this. Denise going to get me. I'm going to make this one.
You know what? I just cannot accept a kicker being inconsistent when all of your colleagues are busy multitasking. The
Mhm.
kicker has one job to do.
And what's that?
Just to kick it through the uprights. Kick it through the uprights. That is
Mhm.
it. Kick it through the goalpost does not move. It doesn't go left to right. It doesn't go forward and backward. It's planted in the ground.
Right.
So when you have weather conditions like on Monday night, there was wind,
Yeah.
and later on in the game there was some rain, but at this point there may have been like a mist, so you have different conditions that will impact your ability to kick a ball, but that's what you practice for, because
Yes.
in the end you still just do one thing: you kick a ball. But Matt's apparently his calculations are kind of faulty. His positioning is a bit faulty because he hit the left upright. Okay, so he didn't miss by far. He almost had it.
Mm-hmm. But almost not good enough. Almost not good enough.
Yeah, he missed it with the 50, but this time he came back. Like, we're in the third quarter now.
Mm-hmm.
He kicked a 52-yard field goal, so that made it Washington 10, Chicago 13. So we're really looking good at this point.
And it should have been 13-13. That other kick he missed, that's what we say. That stuff adds up. That's
It's going to come back to bite us for
Yes,
sure
it is.
and
Yes.
for certain, which is
Mhm.
why I do not tolerate inconsistency from a kicker, because it makes the difference between a win and a loss.
Well, inconsistency is all around, from coaches to the players, offense and defense. So it's not just Matt Gay. It's everybody. Everybody need to take. We have not yet seen nobody have 2 weeks in a row playing consistent football.
Right.
You tell me who. I'll wait because I haven't seen it
No,
yet.
this team has been very inconsistent, and it shows in the results, because we
Yes.
started off with a win, then we got a loss, and we got a win, then we got a loss. If you look at our win-loss record this season, it perfectly alternates. And when I say
Yes.
perfectly, I mean it alternates with no break. It's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, and we're at the loss now.
Yeah.
So hopefully
Hopefully that means a win this week, right?
we should have a win. If we're going to be consistent with our alternating record of wins and losses, then we are due for a win against the Cowboys when we go to Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. But that being inconsistent up and down like that is not the DNA for a playoff team. And I still do think that we are a playoff team, but we have to get healthier, and we got to stop making some of these dumb mistakes that we've been making, Denise. These penalties, these off, the offsides and just misassignments. Come on now. We're doing this since OTAs. We should not be having the same mental action. Now, I do understand there have been moving body parts. They have been moving parts. So you're going to have some of that. But maybe Joe Witt on the defensive side needs to simplify it a little bit more so that these guys can go out there and play fast and don't have to think. But as far as the pass rush, I think that's just a mentality thing. DeAndre Swift, he killed us on the edges. It wasn't up through the middle. He was killing us on the edges. So we didn't get anybody to set the edges. We were getting killed on the defensive side of the ball on the edges. And we had nothing. We made no type of adjustments for that.
But to your point, we didn't put our running back around the edges as much as we should have either. We kept running our guy up the center into traffic.
Right. And to say that, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do understand that Chicago had 2 weeks to prepare for us. But Denise, let's do the math. If you're the 31st ranked defense, or let's say 32nd against the run, and then you have another team that's number one and running the ball, when you do the math, it should be that the team that's number one should dominate the team
But
that's.
bye week shouldn't change that.
But Monday, Bill only averaged 3.3 yards. We could not get nowhere. It's like what we were supposed to do to them, they did to us. So what they did was dare us. They put 8 in the box to stop Bill. Okay. They don't feel like with our wide receivers that we have any main threats that's consistently. Yes, you have Debo, and Debo was playing with a heel, a hurt heel, which I kind of think I'm hoping it's not plantar fasciitis, because I understand with that it can come from the heel up to the calf, on up to the Achilles.
And
But
he didn't have a good game, so.
Okay. But besides Luke McCaffrey and Jaden Lane, now I am going to say the Young Bucks are making plays, but they're not consistent. It's not a threat.
Right.
Teams do not feel threatened by that. So, with Terry, once he does come back, that will change some of the defensive mindsets, But I am proud of Luke, because Luke, ever since he scored in week 1, week 2, but Luke has been on a roll. He's been on a tear.
Yeah.
He's been on a tear, and I'm definitely for Luke, and I just want to see him keep evolving, because we need a number 2 receiver, and hopefully that's him. But we have to be consistent all the way around, and we're not. We're not.
Yep, and speaking of consistency, look, San Rafael got a penalty earlier on.
Yeah.
That was not good for the team. That kind of hurt us. But then here in the third quarter, San Rafael still tipped the ball and he almost got it
Interception.
close to the goal line, but
Yeah.
he did stop them. So Sam Russil is one also
Yeah.
who, and I have to, I get upset when he makes mistakes, because when he makes mistakes, they're big glaring mistakes.
Yeah.
So, and that's when we hear his name. But after that, I noticed, because this is the second time doing it,
Mhm.
he redeems himself with
Yep.
a good play.
Good play.
So as much as I get myself, yeah, so as much as I get myself set to, rake him over the coals before the end of the game, Samra still does something to redeem himself. So this time he tipped the ball and he redeemed himself from his earlier penalty in the game. So I appreciate that. I just wish he would, give us those good plays without messing up first. So hopefully he will progress to that point. But Armstrong, Trey Armstrong,
Dorrance Armstrong.
Dorrance, I'm sorry, not Trey, Dorrance. Dorrance Armstrong did sack Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Okay. And that was his 6th sack of this year. So he's been doing
6 games, 6 sacks in 6 games. People don't recognize that.
You talked about him last week.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And people don't understand how he's the only one really on that defensive line that's been consistent. We've been speaking of the word consistency. Well, you giving me 6 sacks. Right now, Dorrance Armstrong, do you know this? Fun fact, Denise. He's on pace for 17 sacks for the season. If he continues to do what he's doing, I may even say 18 now. But
he's averaging 1 a game. So
1 a game,
and if he gets better, so that's going to be more.
Yes. So now what I think what's going to start happening is teams are going to try to probably double down on him more, double team and stuff like that. But that should open up for some other guys. Your Jazon Newtons, your Frankie Louvu's, your slow Bobby Wagners. I love Bobby, but Bobby, man, you've lost a step. I love your veteranship. You're a veteran, but we get exposed a lot in the, as far as in the linebacker position when it comes to passing downs. I don't understand why we're not seeing a little bit more of Jordan McGee, who is more athletic. I do understand Bobby does make the calls, but how are these young guys going to get experience if they're not playing with the vets to be able to get their feet wet? You understand what I'm saying? So we have to be able to start developing these guys. But Denise, once again, and you and I allude this every week, we do not have enough team speed. We do not have enough team speed. And it shows when we play teams that's fast. And I'm going to tell you something this week. Going against CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, I'm going to tell you, those are not going to be guys that your Lattimores, you be slipping and all that stuff. You're going to see the back of their jersey. And then we're going up against a good running back in Javonte Williams. So we have to be real disciplined. But I don't know, something, even though we're doing a recap, something tells me I think we can win this game this week, but we have to come out flawless. And like you said, Denise, if we win the ball, I don't want to defer. Take the daggone ball and shove it down their throats. Let's go.
So you're with me on the coin toss deal.
Absolutely. I mean, last year it worked for us, but this is a different team. So we got to do something different. It's not working for us. Right now, our hot part has been the offense. The defense last year kind of was setting the tone a little bit.
Yeah.
Not this year. So if I'm like you, Denise, I concur. And I really feel that if we win the toss, let's go score, get some points on the board. Then we won't have to worry about the slow starts. We don't have to worry about coming from back behind. You know what I mean? If we're going down and putting these points up often and early.
And then we give our defense a better opportunity to be aggressive, because we can't keep them on the field for most of the time and expect them to maintain that energy when the offense is not putting points on the board. They're going 3 and out, and we have to keep the defense, on the field and keep hoping that they will contain these teams and not let these teams score on us at will. So, like you said, it takes all 3 facets of the team: offense, defense, and special teams. And we need all of those facets of the game to work well at the same time.
Absolutely.
We're not that team where, offense can take a break and defense will hold everything down. We're not that team where special teams can come out and make all types of blunders or be ineffective, and then everybody else will compensate for it. We're the team that needs everybody, all three parts of the game, all three units of the team to work well together at the same time.
Yeah,
So
well,
hopefully we will see better
mhm.
next game against Dallas. But here we are. We're in the third quarter,
Yeah.
and after Sanders still tipped the ball, okay, he prevented them from getting into the end zone. So the Chicago Bears did not get the grand prize, but they
Mhm.
did put themselves in position to get a consolation prize. So
Mhm.
here, Jake Moody kicks a 41-yard field goal. So
Mhm.
now the score is Washington 10, Chicago 16.
Yes.
And you mentioned McGee,
Jordan McGee.
Jordan McGee, number
Yeah.
58.
Yes.
He got a penalty for a blindside block. So that is what eliminated McCaffrey's 38-yard.
Okay, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. And this is the thing, McGee,
That was
I would
questionable.
have
That was a questionable. That was very questionable because they called it a clipping, and the way Jordan McGee hit him, it was more on the side. But they always say you want to see numbers. You want to see the numbers. If you hit it on the back or you hit it on the front side, then they're gonna always call clipping. Unfortunately, that didn't work out in our favor. Well, come on, guys, we are at home. We supposed to got that little favorable call, but it is what it is. But it did negate Luke McCaffrey's 38-yard return.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. Professionals have to play clean.
Yeah.
We can't leave it down to hoping that the refs will give us a break because historically, we're not that team that gets the good breaks. Although last game, a lot of people swore we got every possible break that the refs could give us. But
Yes.
it's relative and subjective. But we need to be that team that makes clean plays so we don't get our plays called back.
Yeah.
We need to do that, especially when we're struggling, especially when we're behind. I
Yes.
know the players, they want to be aggressive and they want to do whatever they feel they can do to make a difference.
Mhm.
But you have to be clean. You have to be focused. You have to be sharp. And we saw overall a lack of fundamentals on the part of our players in this game. And I'm not talking about McGee in particular,
Yes.
but overall, we saw mindless penalties. We saw bad tackling. We saw slow moving, and then, Matt Gay added his, faulty foot, his inconsistent foot to the fray.
Right.
So, we have all these things going against us.
Mhm.
And through it all, though, I have to give Jaden Daniels credit. He did keep his composure.
Yeah, for the most part.
He didn't cop an attitude. He
Right.
didn't show any he didn't show any anxiety.
Right.
He didn't pout. Because I've seen so many quarterbacks when things go wrong like this, and you can pile up the mistakes. I've seen a lot of quarterbacks just lose it, like get really frustrated. But Jaden is not that guy.
Caleb Williams. Yeah. Caleb Williams.
Yes. But Jaden is not that guy. He maintained his composure, throughout. And it's a good thing because during the Commanders drive, Daniels did throw to McCaffrey.
Yep.
Luke McCaffrey. And Luke McCaffrey did run it in for a touchdown. So
2 minutes and 56 seconds left in the third quarter when Luke caught that. And I thought, I was like, okay, yes. I started seeing the momentum. I really feel like we were trying to get in a groove and we were running the ball. But here we go with the fumbles.
Yeah, but wait a minute now. Let's celebrate the good.
Yeah,
let's accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative where we can.
I'm with you on that.
Luke McCaffrey's touchdown put us in the lead. That made the score 17 Washington, 16 Chicago. So Luke did give it his all, and he did play effectively enough to put us in the lead with that touchdown. So I was appreciative of that because that was a good moment. Okay. So now we can we can continue to move on because we're headed toward the fourth quarter. But
Yeah.
there was a bad snap on the part of the Chicago Bears.
Mhm.
And Caleb Williams got sacked, and Wagner and Martin, Jacob Martin, were all over him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this was one of those plays where I do want to give our guys credit because we were looking for, this type of aggression from our defense. We were looking for and hoping that our defense would have, pressured Caleb throughout the game, pressured Caleb Williams throughout the game.
Right.
But this was one of those instances where it did work out well because Wagner and Jacob Martin, Bobby Wagner and Jacob Martin did sack Caleb Williams. So
Yes.
I did appreciate that. Now, going into the fourth quarter,
Mhm.
Chicago did get in position to at least kick a field goal. They were not eligible to win the grand prize, which is a
Mhm.
touchdown, but they did put themselves in position in the fourth quarter, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, to get a consolation prize of a field goal.
Okay.
And
Denise, real quick, what quarter was it when we actually, I believe Javon Kinlaw blocked the field goal? What I don't remember.
that was the beginning of the fourth.
Okay, that was the beginning of the fourth. Okay, and that,
Yes,
that was
because
good. That was good. All
Kinlaw,
right.
yes, he did block Moody's 48-yard field goal attempt. Now, see, you talk about pressure bursting pipes.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Moody had pressure.
Yes.
This is what pressure looks like. Matt Gay didn't have pressure.
Mhm.
Matt Gay had space and opportunity. Okay,
Right.
space, and he had those two things.
Yes.
Moody, Jake Moody of the Chicago Bears, he had pressure. He had guys coming at him, and our guys literally blocked his kick. So they literally got their hands in this game
Yes.
and stopped Chicago from scoring. So
Right.
they preserved, with this blocked kick, they preserved our lead
Okay.
because we were still leading at this point, 17-16. So I appreciated that. Okay.
Mhm.
And that did give us some momentum, that blocked kick, because you don't get a chance to see too many kicks get blocked.
Right.
We see our kicker missing field goals, but to actually have it blocked, that was exciting to see. And that was what our guys gave us. So that was a nice gift. On the Washington drive, just to
Mhm.
cap it up, Daniels did connect with Ertz, and Ertz got us a touchdown. So
Yes.
we were building on our lead. We were 24 to Chicago's 16. So we
Mhm.
built on our lead, and I thought that was great.
Yeah, I thought that was it. But as they say, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, and she definitely did not sing.
Yeah, because Chicago came back
Yeah,
like acid reflux. Okay, they came back.
like acid reflex. Yes, it
Yes,
was a
they
fact.
came back,
Yes,
and they got a touchdown because number 20,
yep,
Mr. Quan Martin, Mr.
Yep.
Quan, I'm calling his name, Quan Martin, number 20. You don't know how to tackle, and
on tackling alert.
I would be fining him on the down low. I would be punishing him in some kind of way that wouldn't get me in trouble with the league, because that was crazy.
Right.
He had such a wide open opportunity to
He was looking for
stop
the big
Swift,
kill.
and
was looking
he
for the big
just
hit.
totally missed it. And
Yeah.
from that, Swift did make that touchdown. Swift did get into the end
54-yard
zone,
run. Mhm.
and Chicago decided to go for the 2-point conversion.
Yes.
Okay. And that was busted up. So our defense did rise to the occasion. They said, okay, we let you, number 20, McGee. Martin. Martin let you slip by, but we're not going to let you guys in the end zone yet again. So
Right.
Chicago failed on their 2-point conversion attempt. But yes, it was Quan Martin who let Swift get right by him with that poor I almost use a profane word, but with that poor tackling, he let
Right.
Swift get by him. But our defense kept them to the 6 points for getting into the end zone. The 2-point conversion failed. So
Right.
we are now at Washington 24. We still have the lead. Thank you, Ertz.
Mhm.
To Chicago's 22 points. So it's 24-22 in Washington's favor.
Yes. And then we know
On our next possession, we had to punt.
Yeah.
We had to punt. So that was not good.
And at this time, this is when the wind starts swirling real bad and you can start seeing stuff to pick up. So there was weather conditions, but that's no excuse.
Jaden already told you, don't Milli Vanilli, don't blame it on the rain.
Yeah.
So no, you can't do it. No. Because Chicago played in that same wind and that same mist and that same rain. They played under those same conditions. So, and they were on the road. They were not at home.
Right.
So, we can't go there with that. But yes, the weather really did get worse.
Yeah, no excuses.
The fourth quarter.
That's football weather, though, Denise. That's football weather. That's what we always say is football weather. But all right, we're gonna keep moving along because we're gonna wrap this up in a second. But and on that same drive, we were moving the ball, but lack of focus, lack of whatever it was. I don't know. You do this a million times in your sleep, so I don't know if Jaden. Once he now, when I was a little confused, why are we running 3rd and 1? Why are we running shotgun 3rd and 1? And it's wet weather out there.
Right.
The ball is slippery. Why are we not underneath center? Why not have the more, the more what's the word?
You got to be careful. You need to err on the side of caution.
Yes, and I did not understand that.
But that gets back to the decision making. Mm-hmm. Because we know our guys know what plays to run, okay, yes. And we know that they're capable of executing these plays. But you have to make a good decision, and when like you said to your point, it's wet out there. We know the ball gets slippery. You can make a better choice of a safer way to handle that ball. Absolutely. And it was. I would say yes, Jaden didn't focus the way he should. But it was also the slipperiness of that ball, because under normal circumstances, that ball would not have come out of his hands. Right. So, he didn't have control of the ball. Mm-hmm. He tried to, bounce it off to Bill, to Krosky Merritt. Yes. And Krosky Merritt never had the ball. No. So that was unfortunate because Chicago definitely came up with it. So, that was very, very unfortunate.
That was a bad taste in oh my God, Denise, that was hard to swallow. It was. I mean, that took the whole, when Jaden fumbled, that took the whole air out this whole stadium at Northwest.
And that was it. That's the story. When that happened, that killed the momentum and it changed the trajectory of the game.
Right.
Because Chicago did come back, and in the end, their kicker, who had previously been blocked, Jake Moody's kick had been blocked previously.
Yes,
he at the end of the game had the opportunity to kick a 38-yard field goal.
Yep, that sealed the game for them, and
that was the game-winning field goal, and Jake Moody made it right through the uprights. He won the game for Chicago with his field goal, which made the score Washington 24, Chicago 25. Now let me get back to Matt Gay. Let me get back to him. Let's see, this is where I fault the team for not taking a stronger stance on a player who only has one job to do. Because when Matt Gay missed that one field goal, the one he missed, because he made others, but the one he missed is the one that would have not only tied us up at the time of the kick, but we would have won, because that was 3 points that we needed, that we didn't have, we would have had 27 points.
Yeah.
So it would have been 27 Washington, 25 Chicago. That's the difference between a win and a loss.
Yeah.
So with that, this wraps up the game, baby. That wraps it up. We gave it to you. We gave it to you good. We gave it to you play by play, blah, 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 quarter by quarter. And unfortunately, we didn't get the W that we should have had. So coming into Texas against the Cowboys.
Cowboys, we got to get them.
We need to win.
This is a must.
We need to win.
That's correct. But with that all being said, Denise, and that's all we have for week 6 of a full recap of the Washington Commanders versus the Chicago Bears. We truly appreciate all of you for tuning in and supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon and select all so you never miss when we go live or drop a brand new video. Until the next time, everyone, love somebody, hug somebody. We'll see you on the next show of Two of a Kind Sports. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching, and raise hell.
Raise hell. Dallas, let's go. We got to get this, y'all.